when you're fighting tyranny. What did Barry Goldwater say, Senator Goldwater? He said, sometimes silence isn't golden, it's yellow. Extremism, defensive liberty is no vice. So, yeah, you know who's doing it. I mean, Dennehy and Comey are both the dad and the daughter are all over the news blasting you, Bondi. It's an information war. They're talking trash about you. They're lying about you and the president. Everybody else, go after them like Kash Patel does, because this is an information war. A lot of these lawyers love to just kind of hide in the shadows, think everything's in court. No, it's about the information. It's about the truth. So I'm concerned about this. Still got the benefit of the doubt because they got a big job and they did the right thing coming out right away and said, hey, but we were lied to. That's great. But I want to hear they're going to be indicted. I want to hear if they did obstruct justice and if they did hide evidence or if they destroyed evidence, we are going to indict those responsible. And we're going to be questioning Maureen, Comey, and James Dennehy. That's what I want to hear. That's the minimum I want to hear. Because, you know, if she's like Letitia James, the AG in New York, is like, well, I'm running for office to put Trump in jail, I'll find something. Well, that discredits you. And that was political persecution. So I get she can't say, I know you're a crook. Comey, I'm going to put your ass in prison. Though you have heard the DOJ came out and said, no, on last Monday, Comey, James Comey, is a target of criminal probe for the honeypot sex operatives and the rest of it. Silence isn't always golden. Sometimes it's just yellow. I always saw that attributed to Senator Barry Goldwater, but I guess it was Dorothy Grover Bolton. Who knows? All right, let's go ahead and go to the clip, though, that I've been talking about. Breaking, AG Pam Bondi says she will be finding and firing the individual who held the Epstein documents from her. How about we're going to put their ass under criminal investigation and tell everybody in the government, stop destroying evidence. That's illegal. Here it is.
Welcome back, America. We're here with, and I'm very excited about this, Attorney General Pam Bondi, a good friend, especially a good friend of my wife, but a wonderful lady, a great lawyer. Welcome to the program, Madam Attorney General. I want to get into this Epstein thing a little bit. I think the American people are very curious about who's on this list or these lists. You have been doggedly trying to get all the information. And now we learn, thanks to you, that you've been stonewalled by people in New York. Do you want to explain that?
Yes, Mark. So as you know, we released about 120 pages of documents, and I started asking for these documents right when I came into office and before Kash Patel was in there. So I ended up getting about 120 pages. We carefully redacted them, of course, to be sure the 254 young girls, women who are victims of sex crimes and sex trafficking, their personal information was redacted and out of there to protect them. So I'm going through it and I kept saying, there has to be more, there has to be more. I'm assured that's it. Kash asked the same questions. Assured there's no more. I found out, this week that a source told me New York, SDNY, they're sitting on thousands of pages of documents regarding Epstein. Thousands. And of course, you've seen the very strong letter. We will get everything. We will have it in our possession. We will redact it, of course, to protect grand jury information and confidential witnesses.
All right, stop there for a minute. Go back to it. Pam, your letter Thursday afternoon said by 8 a.m. the next morning. Now, I know the agents were suddenly there and moved quick, and I want to hear, that shows Saturday, isn't it? Yeah, last night. I want to hear that you've already got a bunch of it. Okay, this is it's about justice, but it's also people are focused on this. And I do want to hear updates on the JFK and the RFK and all that stuff, but quite frankly, if she should just say, hey, we've only got so many agents, we got 100 people on it or whatever it is, like General Flynn's been ordered to declassify stuff and he puts teams together and can do it pretty quick. You talked about that on the show Thursday. Give a press conference and say, the president has directed us. You go to him and say, sir, we only have this many people. If you want to deputize some other lawyers or something to do it, fine. But what do you want us to do first? And I think the Epstein should be first. I don't think any listener would disagree with me. I mean, we all know they killed Kennedy. We all know they killed RFK Sr. We all know they killed Martin Luther King. It's already come out. Release it too. My point is, yeah, give us the Epstein. And people are like, well, they're not because it's connected to the Mossad. That's already known. and expose it. It needs to be done. The CIA, MI6, my God, Kara Starmer is a pedophile ringwraith. I mean, I don't know if he screws kids, but he's their guardian angel. I'm sorry, I'm ranting. It's all interconnected. Let's go back to the clip. Here it is.
President in our nation's history. So not only will America get the full Epstein files, they will get JFK, they will get Martin Luther King.
Well, that's fantastic, but I assume the Southern District of New York is, or has been, holding on to this information for a reason. That is, they don't like the names on the list. And, of course, we know New York is a hotbed of the Democrat Party, and that includes in legal circles. Do you think that's part of the issue here, that they're trying to protect a lot of names and individuals?
You know, Mark, I have not reviewed the information yet. And as a lawyer, as a prosecutor, I want to review everything before I make a firm conclusion. But I think it's very interesting that they withheld that from us. And I will find out who withheld it, and they will not be working for us anymore.
So once all that's gathered, you're just going to put it out in the public with the obvious necessary redactions, including the people who were the victims and the phone numbers and so forth. But for the perpetrators, I assume that we'll see those names, yes?
Well, certainly. There's nothing can be withheld on that. Of course, as you know, grand jury information, anything confidential will be withheld under the law. And we're going to do everything in our power to protect the victims so they're not further victimized also.
Let me ask you a question kind of in this vein. And it may be too early to know because you just got to the Department of Justice. This guy, Jack Smith, his team of lawyers and so forth and so on, do we know yet, and I happen to know that is a big damn department with a lot of people, and so it just takes time to figure things out, but do we happen to know yet whether they complied with all the requirements of the Presidential Records Act and the Espionage Act? That is, did they store all their materials for you folks to look at when you choose to look at it? Do we know that, or did they remove or destroy any of it?
Mark, that's what we're looking at now. We're going through all of that. And now that I just got Kash Patel in as FBI director, he's, of course, a tremendous help. I've been in office, barely 2 weeks, and it feels like 2 years. We are going nonstop. We will get to the bottom of that. And as you know, the first thing I did was fire the Jack Smith team. That was the ultimate weaponization of our country and our government.
Don't you get a little frustrated, or worse, I would, reading these stories about how...
Now, let's ask a question. With resources, what's more important? Go after Comey and the sex operatives trying to set up the Trump people and all the lies and the espionage, or Epstein with the resources? I have the answer. It's the same thing. Comey and his daughter are on record running the whole cover-up of that with the Clintons and Anthony Weiner's laptop that is the master file of the real names of not just clients with Epstein, but other groups they were running, and Hillary was the boss. Because all that sex stuff even predated Obama, who had his own stuff going on, but the Clintons were like master controllers, not just people screwing the kids and going to the island. So that's why this needs to come out, one of many reasons, obviously. It's a big, big deal. But that's why they brought in an intelligence whiz, and Kosh is known as that, because the FBI has been running intelligence operations, but that's not really supposed to be their job, against America. So Kosh is in there going through all this stuff. The stuff they've been able to get. You don't think the globalists didn't hide it or destroy most of it? But again, good people kept the pieces they had as investigators, but then the bad guys at the top, they get it all and can put it all together. And they already had it because they were running it.
It's so frustrating to be sitting in a situation where the list isn't coming out.
Well, it better come out, hopefully tomorrow.
Well, I mean, why'd they release bullshit today?
I don't know.
What's the point in giving these people like a happy folder to wave around in front of the camera with nothing in it that's new? Doesn't make any sense. It's not encouraging.
Like I said, it's the tough thing that they've got is, they've been made captain of a ship with a hostile crew.
Right.
So they don't have it's not like you have like magical powers. You get made captain of a ship with a hostile crew. You still have a hostile crew.
Right.
You've got to bring in people who are going to, be helpful as opposed to obstructionist.
Right.
All right, I'm gonna end this hour, and we're gonna continue on after that. But I want to just say this. I've been so fired up. I've not plugged here much. I did like a 30-second plug at the end of the last hour. And that's how we fund our operations. Plus, the products are incredible. We have some really